This solar radiation script works, but it's too heavy for someone who doesn't know Grasshopper. And our goal in this video to make them work with your solar radiation analysis script without going into Grasshopper. So, how I make solar analysis usable for architects? The problem is the full analysis definitions can feel technical and heavy. Most users only made a few clear inputs, and too much canvas complexity gets in the way of quick design testing. What do I do instead? Keep the Ladybug logic in the background, bring the key controls into a simple visual interface this time, and use human UI to make analysis easier to interact. So let's see how I create this. This is the script that I work with, but I want to show you one thing real quick. So when you open the script, it immediately shows you this interface. And this is how we are going to create or learn to creating. And this is how we interact with others by using our script, right? But how we create this. So in order to create this, we are using a plugin called Human UI, which is a human UI interface. So for instance, if you right click and recompute this, it will give you this guy. What is this? Basically, we are changing everything within this interface. For instance, we can turn on and turn off our interface by using this button here. We can turn this on and off like an EPV map. Default would be for our toggle in this false, and when it's open, it will say EPV map has just opened and EPV map is closed. So when we say EPV map is closed, it says to me this. When I change this, it takes me to the EPV map. At the same time, it says EPV map has just opened. Okay. So also we can have the EPV URL. We can create a text box. We can put that in here. Also adjust element positioning. We can change the positioning of our elements too, like how long we want to see those things. This is a little tricky and confusing, and I want this to be like this, okay? Because again, this file is for someone else for them to use without going in to the Grasshopper. And obviously we can change a few different things like separators. We can have a separator which is thick or thin. We can change the text color. We can change all these things like 3D view, which I'll come in a second. So by the way, instead of going with this, we can turn this off, close this human UI and say no. And as we learned from the previous videos, we can come over to Grasshopper Player, and without even going inside Grasshopper, I can pull this guy. And what it does, I don't see anything in Grasshopper, but now let's see what I can do. So I turn on my EPV map again, and then I can go back to, just like we did in the previous one, New York and LaGuardia. I can copy this and switch back to my Rhino screen. I can copy my thing here and then press this button. After we press this button, it starts to make calculations, right? Because first it puts our project into the geolocation that we just defined. It can take some time, but it's okay. Now I know where my project is located. And as we did yesterday, we can say 6 to 8, maybe month 8, and day 1 to day 31st, day maybe, I don't know. You can double click and change it as well. 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Select geometry to be analyzed. And when I click on this, it takes me to Rhino. Select my geometries to be analyzed. I want these blue guys as my design. So I'm kind of having these in and press enter. And then I'm adding context geometry. Let's say this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I want this guy, this guy. Not too much though. Maybe these 3 tall buildings as well, and press enter when I'm done. So grid size in meters, it says 2 meters. We can make it like maybe 1 meter. And the most important thing now is it's going to show me when I press this button, it's going to run the analysis. And as I discussed in the previous video, it takes time. It's not taking time because of the interface. It takes time because of the Ladybug calculation. So it's basically running all these calculations within Grasshopper and Ladybug, and then comes back with the results to my Rhino screen. So user never sees Grasshopper, never sees any wire, or never sees any kind of problems that are associated with our script. So now what I started to see is I receive some results, right? And when I receive some results, what I can do, I can go to my layers and maybe turn these guys off just to be safe, okay? And maybe 1 meter is too much for my computer. So what I can do instead, I can say 2 to this, or maybe I turn this off first, and I can come over here and say 2 to this, because I want to make sure it takes a little less time than this, and sometimes it can freeze, obviously. So I'm taking it 2 just to make it a little faster, okay? Just to make it a little faster. And I run my simulation again. I'm assuming this time it's going to take a little less time than the before, but we'll see. In the meantime, you can access this Grasshopper file and the interface for free by joining my school community. You can follow the link in description, and it's going to be totally free. Sign in, join, and then you'll get these files. And what I start to see now, it's a little faster, but obviously what you can do, you can turn this off, make this one maybe 4, and then run it again. So we will get a little faster results and also easier to navigate in Rhino 2. And what we see here is 3D view, which is important because we are able to visualize what is happening in our script with the pieces that I'm having, okay, like my analysis and my kind of context as well. And you see the Legend low bound is 0, high bound is 150. That's why it's a little off. So maybe what we can do, we can say 600, and we started to get a little better results. We can say 500, can get a little better results. We can change the legend color. Let's say 11. 11 is this. We can say, I don't know, like 5. And we can view it as this. We can say 8, see it as such. And in the meantime, we see that this interface is also changing. For the number of segments here, we can have maybe 1, maybe 5. Default is 5, but maybe 11. And we have this legend. 11 may be too much for you. And say 8. And when you are happy, what we can do, we can say bake results, and we get them and we bake them inside. So if you see custom is 0 now. So what I can do, I can maybe turn this on, and we see that I have my legend, I have my group here, I have the information that is stated here, and so on and so forth. If you are serious about learning Grasshopper to create these kind of interfaces, help other architects and professionals with computational design workflows, book a call with me with the link in description. Let's sit down and chat to see how I can help you to become a computational designer and elevate your careers. So this is basically how we create everything, how we create the setup, and this user face will enable your colleagues and friends to run these analysis. And if we come back to my example, so the main input was the same as we did with Ladybug: input geometry, input context, analysis period, grid size, location, and running the analysis. Every other thing was stay hidden so that we don't need to show anything besides the important inputs to the other architects or designers. And basically what changes with human UI, the study feels a lot easier to use. It's like a plug and play thing. And the important inputs are clear because we indicate them, and the workflows feel more like a tool, and the analysis all the analysis in this case become a lot less intimidating. A script shouldn't work only, again, it also feels usable, and it can be also distribute it amongst your team and colleagues. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.